Why did the Roman Empire fall? The real reason. What if I told you that the greatest empire in history didn't collapse in one day, but over 100 years of terrible decisions, backstabbing, and sheer stupidity? What if I told you that Rome wasn't destroyed by barbarians, but by Rome itself? And what if I told you that an emperor once cared more about his pet chicken than his own empire? Yes, that actually happened. This is the real story of Rome's fall, and trust me, it's more dramatic than any Hollywood movie. Brutal battles, political betrayals, catastrophic failures, and the single worst military blunder in Roman history. So how did the most powerful empire the world had ever seen crumble like a stale loaf of bread? Why did legions that once conquered the world get wiped out by their own former allies? And how did a teenage emperor become the last ruler of Rome before being overthrown like yesterday's garbage? Buckle up, because this is a wild ride through war, treachery, and pure insanity. Welcome to the fall of Rome. AD 376, the first domino falls. A starving group of refugees beg for Rome's help. Rome agrees, but then treats them like dirt. The result? One of the deadliest ambushes in history. AD 395, the empire begins to crumble. Rome is split in two. One half thrives, the other falls apart like a badly built Lego tower. Why? Hint, bad leadership. AD 410, the sack of Rome. For 800 years, no enemy had set foot inside Rome. Then comes Alaric, an angry warrior who had once fought for Rome until they betrayed him. Now, he's back, and he's got a bone to pick. AD 476, the last emperor falls. Rome's final ruler wasn't even a warrior. He was a 16-year-old kid who probably had no clue what he was doing. His name? Romulus Augustulus. Ever heard of him? Probably not. Because he was so weak, history forgot him. But why did it all happen? How could Rome, mighty, powerful, and unstoppable, crumble into nothing? Stay to the end, because the real reason will leave you shocked. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a thrilling dive into history's greatest battles. The air was thick with fear in Adrianople, modern-day Turkey, on August 9th, AD 378. Emperor Valens wiped sweat from his brow as he looked across the battlefield. His Roman legions, once the invincible force that had crushed Hannibal, subdued Carthage, and conquered the known world, now stood face to face with an army of barbarians, and something felt wrong. On the other side stood the Visigoths, led by their cunning and enraged king, Fritigern. They weren't just here to raid. They were here because Rome had betrayed them. 2 years earlier, in AD 376, they had begged the empire for refuge from the bloodthirsty Huns sweeping through their lands. Emperor Valens, seeing an opportunity, granted them entry but subjected them to brutal treatment, starvation, slavery, and abuse. Big mistake. Now with the Goths desperate, battle-hardened, and filled with rage, Rome would pay the price. As the fighting began, the sun burned high, the Roman cavalry clashed first, and within hours, Valens' army was trapped in the Gothic ambush. Legionaries screamed as arrows rained down, cavalry was slaughtered, and the proud Roman formations collapsed into chaos. By the time the dust settled, 2/3 of Rome's eastern army lay dead, including Valens himself, whose body was never found. This wasn't just a battle lost. It was the first domino in the collapse of the empire. With Valens gone, his successor Theodosius I managed to hold things together, but only barely. He knew Rome couldn't survive without drastic changes, so he made a fateful decision. He officially split the empire into Western Rome, ruled from Ravenna, and Eastern Rome, ruled from Constantinople, in AD 395. He hired barbarian mercenaries, the same people who once fought against Rome, to fight for Rome. It was like hiring a wolf to guard the sheep. When Theodosius died suddenly in AD 395, the empire was officially divided between his two incapable sons. Arcadius, Eastern Roman Emperor, weak, indecisive, and controlled by corrupt advisors. Honorius, Western Roman Emperor, utterly incompetent, more interested in his pet chickens than running an empire. Yes, really, he had a pet chicken named Rome that he cared about more than actual Rome. The moment Theodosius died, the empire descended into chaos. And watching from the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike, was the most dangerous barbarian leader Rome had ever seen. Alaric, a brilliant and bitter former Roman mercenary, had spent years fighting for Rome, protecting it, and demanding the rewards he was owed. Rome ignored him. Bad idea. By AD 408, Alaric had had enough. he turned his army of Visigoths toward Rome itself. For 2 years he besieged the city, demanding gold, food, and land. The Romans refused, thinking their mighty walls would protect them. They forgot one thing: starving people inside a city don't fight, they beg. On August 24, AD 410, after being betrayed in negotiations, Alaric stormed into Rome, unleashing 3 days of destruction. The unthinkable had happened. For 800 years, Rome had been the unconquerable heart of civilization. Now barbarians walked its streets, looting its treasures, burning its buildings, and enslaving its people. The world was shocked. Even the Eastern Roman Emperor cried when he heard the news. The sack of Rome was not the end, but it was a warning. The empire was rotting from the inside, and soon it would collapse completely. The Western Roman Empire limped on for decades, more of a zombie than a real empire. Corruption, civil war, economic collapse, and barbarian invasions from every direction left it gasping for air. Then came Odoacer. In AD 476, this barbarian warlord marched into Italy and deposed Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor, a 16-year-old boy who never stood a chance. And that was it. No more Senate debates, no more legions marching in glory. The Western Roman Empire was dead. The Eastern Roman Empire, later called the Byzantine Empire, survived for another 1,000 years, but the Rome of Julius Caesar, Augustus, and Trajan? Gone. Rome didn't collapse in a single event. It died a slow, painful death from 5 major causes. Corrupt leadership. From Valens to Honorius, Rome's emperors were more interested in their own wealth and survival than actually governing. Military decay. By relying on barbarian mercenaries, Rome essentially hired its future conquerors. Economic disaster. Heavy taxes, inflation, and a crumbling economy made Roman life unbearable. Barbarian invasions. The Goths, Vandals, and Huns took advantage of Rome's weakness. Overstretching. Rome had grown too big to control, and no emperor could hold it all together. Could Rome have been saved? Maybe, but arrogance, greed, and bad decisions sealed its fate. And the lesson for today? Even the greatest empires can collapse when they ignore problems, mistreat their people, and let corruption run wild. If you loved this deep dive into the fall of Rome, imagine what's next. Want more epic war stories? Want to uncover the biggest historical what-ifs? Want to experience history like never before? Hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. More blood, betrayal, and battle tactics coming your way. See you in the next war.